Hi there, I'm Vanessa and I'm going to be talking about the heart with you today. I'm going to go through the anatomy, the movement of blood throughout your heart and throughout the body. Then I'm going to talk about the nervous system and finally the electrical and mechanical aspects of things and how it all ties together. So to start things off, I'm going to talk about the anatomy of the heart. I have an image here that I will attach at the end of the video if you want to get a better look at it. But this is just kind of for reference. So to start things off, we have the four chambers of the heart. And that's going to be the right atrium, the right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Then we also have these vena cavas here, the superior and inferior vena cava. We have the aorta up here, pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, and then we have the valves here that I'll talk about a little bit, and the septum. So that's just kind of a brief A and P of the heart. Next, we're going to talk about the movement of blood throughout your heart and throughout your body as well. So this is another image for you. Again, I'll attach that one. Basically what's going to happen is blood is going to come through these vena cavas here, and it's not going to be oxygenated. So your heart is going to work to get that blood oxygenated so it can circulate through the rest of your body. So it'll come through here. It's going to go into that right atrium. It's going to pass through the tricuspid valve, which is a one-way valve, meaning it can only go through, it can't go back. And then it's going to go into the right ventricle. And from that right ventricle, it's going to go into that pulmonary valve, where it's actually going to get passed into the lungs to get oxygenated. So it'll actually go down to the capillaries where that gas exchange happens and get the oxygen it needs, and then it's going to cycle back and it's going to come through the pulmonary veins there. And then once it comes through the pulmonary veins, it's going to come through the left atrium, pass through the mitral valve into the left ventricle. From there, it'll go through the aorta where it's ready to be cycled throughout the rest of your body. So next, we're going to talk about the nervous system a little bit. I'm just going to talk about how the nervous system plays a part in your heart and what it kind of does there. So obviously we have the brain. That's important. And what matters here is the medulla oblongata and two nerves that I'm going to talk about today. So the two nerves that I want to talk about are the accelerator nerve and the vagus nerve. So those control your sympathetic and your parasympathetic systems. So that's going to be your fight or flight and your rest and digest. So what's going to happen is your medulla oblongata, it's going to send a neurotransmitter to send a message down these nerves, depending which one it's going to stimulate. And that message is going to go to your SA node. So if you're stimulating your accelerator nerve, a message will get sent down from your brain. It'll tell that SA node to speed up. If you're hitting the vagus nerve, it's going to send the message down, tell that SA node to slow down, to rest and digest. So that's just kind of briefly how your nervous system plays in to your heart and what it does. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the electrical and mechanical side of things and how they tie together in your heart. So your heart kind of has these two systems and they work together. Your electrical system helps your mechanical system, and together your heart is able to contract and cycle blood, circulate through your body just like it's supposed to do. So here's an image, just kind of a brief outlay. This is that SA node I was just talking about, and then we have the AV node, we have the bundle of His, right and left, and then we have Purkinje fibers down here as well. So the first thing I'll talk about is the electrical side of things. So what's going to start things off is this SA node. That SA node is going to send out an electrical shock, which is going to hit the atria right away. So from there, it's going to go to the AV node, where it's going to follow this pathway down, and eventually these Purkinje fibers at the bottom here are going to stimulate the ventricle. So the SA node, it's going to stimulate the atrium, follow the pathway, and then the Purkinje fibers are going to stimulate the ventricle. So it doesn't all happen at once, it's kind of broken up there. And then the mechanical side of things is caused by the electrical. So the mechanical is just your heart doing what it does, contracting and circulating blood throughout your body. So like I said, they kind of work simultaneously. They work together. The electrical sets it off, and then the mechanical follows through and has your heart circulate blood throughout your body and do what it does. So that's kind of my brief explanation of the heart, the anatomy, kind of the movement throughout your heart and body, and then the mechanical and electrical and your nervous system. I hope it was helpful.